In this week's lesson, God creates the institution of marriage. Our text, which describes the original marriage, is the basis for almost everything else the Bible says about marriage, and it gives us a glimpse into human relationships. In prior verses, God has declared his creation to be good. The first time God says something in his creation is not good, he says, "It is not good for man to be alone." Now, let's think about this. Adam is in a perfect fellowship with God. Adam is in a perfect environment created by God just for him. Adam is in charge, subject only to God, and God has given him dominion over all the creatures and animals, and he's named each of them. What more could a man want? God's evaluation that man was in need of human companionship. It was not good to exist alone. Mankind is designed to live in relationship with God and in relationship with other human beings. Yes, I know we can fool ourselves thinking that we have made it alone or we can exist alone. But prolonged solitude, permanent solitude, is not God's design. In fact, scientists even note that social isolation is physically bad for us. Chronically alone people have higher blood pressure. They are more vulnerable to infections, and they are more likely to develop dementia. But the way God said it was much easier. It is not good for man to be alone. So God said he would make Adam a helper suitable for him. So from Adam's side he took flesh and bone. Adam, upon waking up from the first operation in human history, saw a woman made from the same flesh, from the same bone, the same but yet different. So now we have a man and then a woman. Now, being first historically has given preeminence, but this is not the basis to believe that man is superior to woman. God made woman to be a helper corresponding to man, and like a jigsaw puzzle is incomplete if half the pieces are missing, so man and creation was incomplete without woman. Now, this lesson doesn't say that people are incomplete unless they are married. The Bible does not require that anyone gets married. There are people who function well alone. In fact, we all know people who have a difficult time living with and existing with other people who are in their space. But Moses, without a fancy college degree, inspired by God, says that mankind has an innate desire for companionship, attraction, not merely to mate like animals, but to have a relationship that removes prior distractions so that the two become one, as we were once one body in the garden. So God designed the institution of marriage not as some plaything, but to meet the very real human need for companionship. But it takes three to make a good marriage: God and the couple. For a Christian to marry an unbeliever is to enter into a marriage lacking God as an essential element of a marriage. I know we see all these reality TV shows about marriage and engagement. The marriage that the Bible is teaching us should not be confused with modern social political concepts like starter marriages, training wheel marriages, marriages with an eye towards ending that relationship at some point in the future, or marriage contracts, more legalistic marriage, open marriages, announced non-exclusive sexual relationships in the marriage, convenience marriages, marriages to maintain a lifestyle, show marriages, marriages for community reputation. The Bible encourages marriages to be a permanent relationship based on a commitment to God and the other person. The Bible expects marriages to be an exclusive relationship that shuns distractions and allows the couple to become one. The Bible expects our marriages to be an intimate relationship, sharing the gift of procreation and the intimacy in a loving, caring relationship. This lesson also talks about the concept of family, another creation of God. What was new then but normal now, Adam and Eve had a child. They had a boy. Eve named that young son Cain, and Eve said, with God's help, I will have a baby boy. Later, she had another son, Abel. Now, the boys grew up. Because this was an agrarian society, Abel took care of sheep and animals. Cain farmed the land. Now, the four of them, Adam, Eve, Cain, and Abel, were a nuclear family. Now, I recognize that the concept of nuclear family is considered dated in American society today. Less than half of adult Americans are married. 1 out of every 3 children are born outside of marriage. These statistics reflect American values. 6 out of 10 Americans think that sex and shared interests is the key to a successful marriage. In a world with changing values, we must remind others that marriage is not a trivial endeavor. We must enter into it soberly, with a commitment to God and to the union of two people. That's the lesson for this week. Have a great week. Bye.